As many of you know, I've been in contact with Gaige Grosskreutz concerning a number of issues, and one of those was the concealed carry permit that he may or may not have had that night of the Kenosha shootings. Gaige has clarified that issue, and I'm going to go ahead and read that email that he sent to me about his CCW. And I have a couple of other videos that specifically refer to that email, and I'm going to be having some more coming out here in the future, which is kind of why you'd want to subscribe to my channel. So subscribe. Go and subscribe to my channel now. Just do it. Okay. At any rate, you can see here is a picture of his current CCW with obviously confidential information rubbed out. And he also has a picture of his driver's license on the top. That was sent to me to prove that it was, in fact, Gaige Grosskreutz. I opened it up in Photoshop, looked at it. This is genuine. It was definitely Gaige Grosskreutz who sent me this information, so there's no doubt about that. So let's talk about Gaige's concealed carry permit. Did he have one that night of the Kenosha shootings? Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
Okay, so here is the email that Gaige sent me. And it states, the CCW issue is interesting. I definitely had a valid CCW that night and before, had after, and I assume he meant and after. So let me repeat that. He says, I definitely had a valid CCW that night and before. I was first told by Detective Antaramian there was an administrative issue regarding my CCW, and I had assumed that was because I had left my CCW and driver's license in my car. Okay, so this pertains to a traffic violation, I think involving a DUI that he had, and I guess they impounded his car. Binger had also told me the night before the trial, in his office at 10 p.m. while he finished dinner, that he was going to address it before Sharafasi did, and it also was an administrative charge worth $300 or something, but I'm obviously not going to charge you with that because you lost most of your arm. Okay, rather interesting. And there was this discussion about Binger who wished that Gaige had killed Kyle. I went over that in a previous video. I'll put a link in the description below. That is quite shocking, but I'm not going to cover it here. So fast forward to after the trial, and I was doing a lot of record requesting and investigating, and come to find out from the Wisconsin Department of Justice that my license was valid the entire time. I just really wonder what the blank that was about. I feel partly responsible because I didn't double check my own license, but apparently you need to be an attorney to get CCW records. And he puts a question mark there, expressing some uncertainty about that statement. The fact that my own attorneys didn't double check, I'm going to equate to inexperience of Motley and Schwab and anything firearms related. Well, with Motley, it could be just about anything. The fact I didn't check, frankly, was a failure on my end. No, that was a failure on your attorneys. That's their job. Regardless, I have a new CCW. And this was dated September 23rd, 2023. So this is Gaige's claim. Now keep in mind, it would be ridiculously stupid of him to send me information that is false, knowing that Kyle's defense team can double check this with no problem. And obviously, lying to people about your CCW is probably not a good look if you're going to be litigating in the future. So I have a tendency to believe him here. I think he's telling the truth, that he did have a valid CCW that night. Also, it's not true that he is an ex-felon. Gaige was never convicted of a felony. In an email he sent me earlier, he told me he never had been convicted of a felony, and I cannot find any evidence that he has been. I went through the WCCA record search, found nothing. So I think we can pretty well establish that Gaige is not a convicted felon, and it's pretty certain here that he did have a valid CCW that night of the shootings. But let me know what you think. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.